Wassup YouTube, PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you our Week 1 Team Builder here in the Lottie Bro draft, the LBD. And we are taking on Austintatious and the Littleroot Linoones. So Littleroot Linoones, who actually, fun fact, even though preseason power rankings don't mean shit, is the absolute bottom of the power rankings leaderboard. Well, we currently sit at number 2. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty pumped about that. I like being number 2. Yeah. Oh, that just out of context clips for everybody. Anyways, so we are taking on the Littleroot Linoones, and his team consists of Zapdos, Alakazam, Alolan Muck, Umbreon, Scrafty, Quagsire, Garbodor, Megalopony, Skarmory, Kingdra, Flygon, and Shiinotic. So a couple things to notice about his team. First of all, he has the double dragons with Kingdra and Flygon, with no rain to support the Kingdra. So Kingdra's just kind of out here rainless. Has to set his own rain, so that's definitely a detriment to him. Potential for move slot syndrome. Might not be able to touch certain mons on my team, which is super convenient for me. Flygon actually being the more threatening dragon is more than likely the one that would show up if it does bring one. He's got 3 dark types in Alolan Muck, Umbreon, and Scrafty, which, don't get me wrong, dude. Like, if you want to give me 3 free things for me to punch holes through with my Mega Mawile, by all means, I will punch through those 3 free things with my Mega Mawile. Speaking of Mega Mawile, his team doesn't really have a good switch into it. Because, like, Skarmory and Garbodor are the only things that can take a play rough at all on his squad. And Garbodor doesn't really do much back, so it's not really much of a threat. Does not take an Iron Head afterwards. And Skarmory doesn't appreciate Fire Fangs. So Mega Mawile has a really, really good matchup to just come on the, like, if it gets on the field for free, it's claiming one pretty much every time. And there's really not much he can do to stop that, which is really nice. So shout outs to that. His team's also, like, it doesn't really have anything that just stands out as being massively threatening besides Megalopony. Like, Megalopony is a problem, but walling Megalopony is easy. Like, if you know how to wall a Megalopony, you know what it can do, so you just put the proper mon on the team that can handle it. And I have just that kind of mon, so I'm not really worried. But yeah, so that's the team. And that's their team, and here is ours. So, forgot to mention, his Z users are Alolan Muck and Scrafty, so both of his dark types. So if I get to kill those things early on in the match, then I don't have to worry about any random Z moves, so that's cool too. First one we're bringing is Stroman, our Golurk. I looked at his team for like 2 seconds and thought, like, a Rock Polish Golurk puts in a lot of work against him. And it really does. With 228 speed, after a Rock Polish, we outspeed everything on his team, barring any Scarfers, which is super nice. This also allows us to run in Adamant Nature, so we can hit things as hard as possible. Adamant and Life Orb, Golurk, plus Iron Fist. This thing is going to absolutely nuke mons on his team. Absolutely tear through mons like it's nothing. It's going to be really, really nice. Because, like, he doesn't particularly have a mon that beats this. Like, Drain Punch will blow through things like the Umbreon and the Scrafty very, very easily. Earthquake smashes Garbodor. Earthquake smashes most things that are touching the ground. And then we have Ice Punch for things like the Shiinotic, the Flygon, the Zapdos, etc., etc. So, like, this mon itself just puts in a crazy amount of work potentially late game against his team, where I can just get up a Rock Polish and clean up. And, like, there really isn't much that he can do about that, which is super nice. So, not complaining at all. I think that would be... My apologies, it's been a long day and it's hot out. But yeah, Strowman is going to be a great late game cleaner in this matchup, so I'm really looking forward to smacking his team up with this beast. Next up, we got Spinneroonie, the Hitmontop, Rocky Helmet, Intimidate. One of our switch-ins to Mega Lopunny, even though it takes so much from a high jump kick. It takes very little from everything else, and the Rocky Helmet chip damage on Mega Lopunny will be great. This mod also works really well to come in on things like Alolan Muck, Scrafty, Umbreon as well. Hopefully trying to avoid getting Toxic as well, but really applies pressure to those mons. A lot of pressure, which is great. We can take a Psyshock from Alakazam because we're fully physically defensive. Toxic is super important to catch things like Zapdos on switch-in, to whittle them down, really put a lot of pressure on those mons. Close combat for Stab, so we can smack up the Umbreon and Scrafty, stuff like that, even harder. And then we have Earthquake, because the main thing that doesn't, like, the one thing that really resists close combat, besides Alakazam and Zapdos, which we have the Toxic for, is the Garbodor. So we have Earthquake to get super effective damage on the Garbodor if we have to. And then lastly, we have the Rapid Spin. Hazards-wise, he's not really rocking out with a lot. He's got potential. He's got Skarmory and Garbodor, potential Spike Setters / Rock Setter for Skarm. But besides that, isn't really rocking out with a lot. So Rapid Spin can be very useful against his team. Get his hazards off the field. He does not have a Ghost type to block my spin, so I can easily get my spin off without really having to worry too much, which is definitely nice. So yeah, that is our Hitmontop. Next up, we have Bianca Belair, the Mega Mawile. We have 164 in speed. This allows us to outspeed a min-speed Skarmory, which is the fastest I really think I needed to go. Outspeeding Skarmory is actually really important in this game because, like I said before, it's one of the few mons that can switch into Mega Mawile. So if it takes like a knockoff or a player off or something, I want to be able to outspeed it and then smack it with a Fire Fang as hard as I can, as fast as I can. So this way Bianca Belair can just whip that hair around and cause some problems for anything on his team. This also allows us to guarantee to outspeed things like the Umbreon, the Scrafty, the Muck, Quagsire, Skarm, Shiinotic. All these mons we outspeed, and we absolutely smack up and down the battlefield. He doesn't, like I said, he doesn't have a mon that switches into this and, like, appreciates it. I could have invested a little bit more into speed, potentially outpace the Garbodor, because I am not running, but because I'm not running Iron Head, I don't really want to mess with that too much, because Iron Head is basically the main thing I would need to be able to knock it out. Actually, Knockoff would do more if it has an item on it, but regardless, I'm not trying to put too much into speed, because then I either lose out on some bulk or lose out on some attack. I'm also going to specifically make this thing, I'm going to do it now so I don't forget. Take that out, Intimidate. So this way we have the Intimidate on Bianca Belair prior to Mega Evolving, so that if we bring this thing in on a physical mon, it makes it even better for us in the long run, so that we can better deal with the threats. So next we have Manaphy, our Farium Z Tail Glow No Stab Manaphy, and I will explain why we don't have any stab moves in a second. So with 136 speed and Timid Nature, we outpace the Kingdra. which is the fastest mon we can outspeed on his team. Didn't feel like it was necessary to speed creep, or not speed creep, but to speed tie with the Flygon, and I think that if you bring Zapdos, it's going to be a much bulkier spread in order to better deal with things like Manaphy on my team. Max special attack, and then we threw the rest into our HP stat. Tail Glow, Ice Beam, Energy Ball, and Dazzling Gleam. So the key thing about Manaphy is, and I've learned in previous leagues using Manaphy, is really you don't yeah, so with the Tail Glow up, you pretty much get a nice free +3, and +3, even if not stab, coverage moves just nuke other mons. Like, if you get the right combination of coverage moves, you can pretty much run through a team very easily. So we have Ice Beam. First off, Ice Beam will tear through the Flygon, the Shiinotic, Zapdos, and does a very decent amount of damage to the Skarmory as well. We have the Energy Ball. Energy Ball, even if he's unaware, which I don't think it really matters, Energy Ball still absolutely smacks up Quagsire, blows it away, which is super nice. And then last but not least, we have the Dazzling Gleam. So Dazzling Gleam hits Mach, Umbreon, and Scrafty really hard, especially at +3. But the key thing here is the Fairy MZ. He's not bringing all 3 Dark types to one game. Dazzling Gleam against Scrafty absolutely knocks it out, even without the boost. Dazzling Gleam to Umbreon at +3 does a massive amount of damage. Umbreon can't really do a lot back to me. Although the Muck, we could potentially take the hit depending on his spread, but if we Fairy MZ him, he's not taking it nearly as well. So this way we have a guaranteed way to blow through any one of his 3 Dark types for free. And if he brings 2 of them, if he brings like Scrafty and Umbreon, we have one thing that we can Fairy MZ and one thing that we just click Dazzling Gleam on. So, hype. That's awesome. So, this beast is going to be amazing, and I'm really, really excited to use it. So, shoutouts to Okada. We're going to make it rain all over them. Next up, we got Bastion Booger, the Skuntank, rocking the Assault Vest with the Aftermath ability, 248 HP, 176 into attack with a Brave Nature, and then 84 into special attack with Poison Jab, Pursuit, Play Rough, and Fire Blast. So Brave Nature, because we really didn't need to outspeed anything. We're outspeeding, as of right now, the main thing that we needed to outspeed being the Skarmory. So that's important. Poison Jab for stab, just so we can hit anything we want as hard as we can with this Poison Jab. Guaranteed Oko's the Shiinotic, which is also fun. Pursuit, this is very important because this thing switches in immediately to Alakazam, and Zam can't really touch us because of the fact that we're AV, like we're stupid bulky. So we can actually take pretty much any hits from Alakazam, and we can Pursuit Trap it pretty easily. We just come in on it easy, take a hit, and then just spam Pursuit. Because Pursuit, even if he's not switching, does like 60 to 70 something %. So he's still taking a massive chunk, pretty much for free. So that's always fun. Then we have the Play Rough. Play Rough is nice to hit the Umbreon and Scrafty and stuff with, because it's super effective and it will do a decent chunk of damage. So that's good stuff. So, and there's that. And then we have the Fire Blast. The 84 special attack is necessary so that we can 2-hit KO Skarmory with Fire Blast. That's with leftovers, I believe. So, as long as I can hit 2 Fire Blasts in a row, Skarmory drops if it's a bulkier Fizz Def set. If it's a Spit F set, we'll see immediately, and then we'll know that Bianca Belair has a better chance of taking it on with Fire Fang as well. So, regardless, no matter what set he is, Fire Blast is a good check for it, and it will help to really determine like what we need to do with this, arm. So, that is our Skuntank set. And last but not least, our ultimate Mega Lopunny switch in. Say hello to Ember Moon, the Cresselia. 248 HP, 136 into defense with a bold nature, and then 124 into speed. It worked out just so damn well. We have the 124 in speed because this allows us to outspeed min speed base 100s, so we will outspeed that Zapdos. And then 248 with the 136 in defense. We pretty much just straight wall Mega Lopunny. It can't 2-hit KO us in any universe, which is fantastic. And once we come in on Mega Lopunny, then we can click sub. Like, obviously, if he got unaware Quagsire, we have to make sure that that's gone. But we can get beyond a sub, we can just start clicking Calm Mind. And we have Psychic and Moonblast, which will blow through the majority of Austintatious' team. And yeah, Cresselia can just basically set up and sweep. So we have basically like 3 or 4 Mons that we have 3 Mons that can set up and clean his team, and 1 Mon that he just doesn't have a switch into, and then we have 2 stupid bulky Mons that his Mons don't appreciate. Now, can someone tell me where there's a problem here? Can someone tell me we have a really good matchup this week? Definitely. I'm not going to get too overconfident, obviously, because every time I get too overconfident, I lose. So, not going to do that at all. So, fuck that. We're not doing it. So, yeah. Instead, we're going to just go ahead and yeah. So, that's our Cresselia, and that is our team. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below, and subscribe if you have not already. But, until next time then, guys, I am PokePrimer, and I'm signing off. Peace.